Students, today's topic will be standing wave. But before going to the expressions or definitions or conditions of a standing wave, let me first come as a explain it through an animation. Okay, if you understand this animation part clearly, then the equations will not be that much difficult to understand. Okay, so let us start. This is an example of a progressive wave. See, there is a disturbance here at this point started, which gradually moves in this direction. Okay, and you can see one after one, the particle starts their oscillations. Means the energy is progressing in this axis, or I can tell it as a positive x-axis. Okay. Now, this is a boundary, or this is I can tell as a rigid boundary. As all of you know, there are two kind of boundary possible in case of a reflection of wave. One is rigid boundary, one is open boundary. Here first we will deal with a rigid boundary. We will see how this will happen. If there is a open boundary, then normally it is symbolized like this, like a dotted line. Okay, like here. Is it clear? If the symbol is like this, it is a open boundary, and if the symbol is like this, a solid line, then it will be a closed boundary or a rigid boundary. Okay, and what are the difference between these two? If there is a rigid boundary, the reflection of the wave will be in such, the direction will change in both the case, in the solid boundary also or in the open boundary also. But if it is a solid boundary, the phase of the wave will also change. If it is an open boundary, then the phase will not change. Okay, let us first study about the rigid wave or rigid boundary, then we will go to what is happening in case of an open boundary. Okay, see, this is a progressive wave coming. Okay, and it is going to hit here. Now this blue wave that is coming, okay, that blue color wave, that is another progressive wave. What is that progressive wave? That wave is actually the reflected wave of the incident wave. The red color wave that is going, okay, that red color wave, let me just pause and show you. This red color wave that is going from this direction to this direction, that is the incident wave. This blue color wave that is coming from here, from the boundary towards this direction, that is the reflective wave. Okay, reflected wave. And this black color wave that is generated, that is the standing wave. Let us first watch it for some time, then I will start explaining it. Okay, see, when the two waves are going to superpose with each other, there is another completely different kind of wave is produced. Why I am telling it is completely different, I will explain that just after some time. Okay, till then let us see the mathematical way. Okay, at the end we will gradually we will explain actually why this black color wave is completely different than other two wave. Okay, let us start. The mathematical expression we will go simultaneously. The mathematical expression and this understanding for the animation. Okay, so you can see for the first wave which was coming from that direction. Okay, means I was talking about only this wave. Like I am just erasing these two waves, this this reflected wave and the standing wave. Okay, I am both erasing both for some time. Okay, later on we can again watch that. Now see this red wave, only this red wave. Okay, now this red wave equation, as I think we all know that the equation can be written by this: y will be equal to, or y equal to a sin omega t minus kx. This is a general wave equation which is progressing in the positive x direction. Okay, now what happen if the equation is if the wave is coming in the opposite direction? So this is the wave. Okay, this wave, this is the equation of the reflected wave. Okay, means this wave, only this blue wave. This is the equation for that blue wave. Okay, now you can see what are the changes between the red and the blue wave, or the first incident wave or the reflective wave. You can see here there is plus a, here there is minus a. Okay, why this minus a is coming? this minus a is coming due to the opposite phase. Okay, means there the wave was started from towards this, but here this wave is starting towards this, means the phase is changing, or you can understand it like, since the reflection is from a solid boundary, the phase will change, and since the phase is changing, as we know, there will be a minus sign here. Okay, now again here there was a minus and here there is a plus. Why this is becoming plus? This becoming plus because due to the direction, change in direction. The first wave or the incident wave was moving in the positive x-axis, and here it was moving in the negative x-axis. Remember, if it moves in positive, the equation is omega t minus kx, and if it is coming in the negative axis, it will be omega t plus kx. Okay. Now what is happening? If both the waves are propagating at the simultaneously, obviously they are propagating simultaneously, at that time this black wave come into action. That is nothing but due to the superposition of all the two waves. Okay. See here, what are the conditions I have kept? You can see here, amplitude I have kept same, here also a, here also a. You can see in both the diagram also amplitude is becoming same. Okay, and omega I kept same, means the time period, frequency, they are also same in both the wave, black wave and the red wave, and also the k or the propagation constant. Okay, that is also same in both. What is only changing? The phase and the direction. Okay. Now what will be the resultant wave? As we know, according to the principle of superposition, we will get a wave by just adding these two equations, that is y will be equal to y1 plus y2. Just put the values of y1 and y2 from the equation 1 and 2. We can write it like this. Okay, a sin omega t minus kx minus a sin omega t plus kx. Okay, now the next step will be like this. I can take the a common, okay, and the remaining thing will be like this. But we know that this is nothing but, this line is nothing but sin a minus b minus sin a plus b. Sin a minus b minus sin a plus b. This is a very common formula in trigonometry, which will give you the answer of minus 2 cos a sin b. So I am writing that answer here, minus 2 cos omega t into sin kx. Okay. Now I can rearrange that equation like this, minus 2a sin kx into cos omega t. Okay. So this is the equation of this black wave or the superposed wave, that is coming from the superposition of y1 and y2. That is how we got this equation. Okay. So this equation is nothing but the equation of this wave, black color wave, which is a standing wave. Now let us understand why that is known as a standing wave, why the red and blue one were known as a progressive wave, and why that black color, this black color one is known as a standing wave. Okay, because see, in a equation, in a wave equation, as you can see here, this is a wave equation, a sin omega t minus kx. You can see that both the omega t and kx were inside one function, one either sine function or it can be cos function, but omega t and kx both, omega t plus or minus kx, omega t plus kx or omega t minus kx, that should contain in one trigonometric function, like here or like here, or it may come as cos omega t minus kx, cos kx minus omega t, cos omega t plus kx, anything, but both those terms should contain in a one trigonometric function. Okay, then only that can be a progressive wave. Why? Because see, in this case you can see this term minus 2a sin kx, this total term does not depend upon time, there is no time term here. Okay, this means, and here there is a time term cos omega t. Okay, it means, see, these two lines I can separately understand them, or I can tell, see, this is the amplitude of a wave. Okay, why this is an amplitude I am telling, and what kind of amplitude it is? It is, this equation is also not representing a particular oscillation, because in a oscillation, if it is like 2a cos omega t or minus 2a cos omega t, then it will be a equation of oscillation. But here you can see clearly here minus 2a sin kx, means this amplitude part does not varies with time but varies with distance. You can see x here. Is it clear? So this thing is the amplitude of the standing wave. Okay, I have written it here. This term indicates the amplitude of vibration which does not change with time but changes with position. Obviously there is no time term here. Okay, and you can see, I will explain it from the diagram. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Now what is this term represent? This term represents that the displacement, because if this is amplitude, I can write it as y into amplitude into cos omega t, and y is what? Displacement of the particle along this axis, y axis, that is y, what we are writing in a progressive wave. So this term indicates that the displacement of the particle changes with time but does not change with position. See here, there is no position term here, there is no x term here. So this does not change with position, it only changes with time. Okay. Now let me explain it in this diagram. Okay, what I am telling and what is the difference, or how I can understand these equations in a better way. Let us again come to only to the reflected wave part. Okay, only to the reflected wave part. See, in this case, or let me again reset this total system and let us start it again. See here, what is happening? One after one, one after one, one after one, particles are oscillating. Okay, it means the energy is progressing. But let us watch only one particle. Let us watch only this particle, the particle at this point. Okay, just where my cursor is there. Okay, just watch this particle. This particle is going like this and coming like this. Only one particle you watch. Means this one particle is in oscillation like this. You can see this particle. Okay, I am just moving my cursor with the point. See, this particle was only moving with what? This particle is moving as a what? In a oscillation. And if you see another particle, that particle is also moving with oscillation. Okay, means each and every particle on this wave are moving with oscillation. But in a particular time, all the particles are not in the same position, their positions are changing. Is it clear? So exactly same thing is happening with the reflected wave. Now let us see what is, means in this progressive wave, I can tell in this progressive wave or in this kind of wave, a sin omega t minus kx, here I can tell the positions or the displacement of the particles changes with both the time and the displacement. See here, it is changing with both. It is changing with time. Okay, because at every, if you are taking it in motion, you can see it is continuously changing, and with positions also. With position means if this particle is at here, this particle is not going to be here, this particle will be at somewhere else, this particle will be here. Means with position, when you are from this point, when you are going along this direction, you can see when the position changes, the displacement of the particle also changes along the y-axis. Is it clear what is happening in this equation, or the same thing is happening in this equation also? Now let us check what is happening in this equation. Okay. See, if here Cu one particle, let me tell about this particle. Okay, let the A word is there, the A term is written. Let us check that particle what it is doing. You can see that A particle is going to maximum and coming to the minimum. Okay, but here you see, let this particle, that N particle, this N particle. Okay, you can see that particle is not at all moving, not at all moving. Is it clear? See the A particle, it is moving up to maximum and coming up to minimum. But these N particles here, wherever the N's are written here, you can see all those particles are not at all moving. They are completely at rest at their own position. Okay, and also you can watch another thing. If you watch this point or this second particle, that from the right hand side it was the second particle here. This particle has an amplitude of this much. Here you see, means every time it is coming like this from here to here. Okay, this particle every time coming like this, and this particle which is at the A point, that is every time coming like this. Means I can tell you that each and every particle has different amplitude, which was not happening in case of what a incident wave or in a progressive wave. You can see that in a progressive wave, each and every particle has the same amplitude, maybe at a different time, but they are having the same amplitude. Let us again go to the first part. See, here this particle came to here. After some time, the nearby particle also coming to that position. See, here you can see, if you watch this particle and this particle, you will find that both of them are achieving the maximum and also the minimum, and achieving each and every point here along the y-axis as like the previous or the after point. Means here every particle has, in a progressive wave, every particle has equal amplitude. Okay, just they are achieving that amplitude or maximum position with some different time. Whereas in this wave, you can see, let me completely remove the incident wave and the reflective wave. Okay, and now let us just watch this. Now you can see this two wave, this black wave. Okay, there is only one wave now, the standing wave. Okay, now you watch this wave. This particle always go to the maximum and always comes to the minimum, but this particle never go to this point. It can never achieve that point. It is always oscillating between these 2 points like this. Very small amplitude is there here like this. Okay, but whereas this particle is achieving, moving like this, whereas the nearby particle is moving like this, whereas this particle is completely at rest. Means you can see, when you move from this n point is completely at rest, and after that the particles amplitude is goes on increasing, and at this a point the particle is moving with maximum and minimum amplitude. Is it clear what is the difference between them? And you can see here the particles are not looking like they are progressing, they are just dancing at one place, just dancing, they are just moving up, coming down, moving up, coming down. They are not looking like at all progressive. Just watch this line this way. Okay, then watch this way. Let me show you the incident wave. Okay, this way. Okay, this wave is completely looking like it is moving forward, although it is not moving forward, but it looks like it is moving forward because the energy is moving forward here. Okay, but in the previous wave there is no energy is there which is moving forward. Energy is not moving forward. You can see it is not at all, because how the energy can move forward from this point? This point is completely at rest. In a wave, how the energy is propagates due to the vibration of the particles, but here at these points the particles are not at all moving. So how the energy is propagating along this direction? So I can tell that the energy is not moving at all. Is this animation clear? Now let us see what are written here. Here I have written these points. Okay, here I have written that the amplitude of vibration changes with position. Means different particles have different amplitudes, but it does not change with time. Means every time this particle will come here and goes there, every time, but this particle can never achieve that height. This particle will always vibrate here. Okay, so the amplitude of different particles are different, but that does not changing with time. Okay, now let us come to the next one. So the same thing I have written here. Equation 3 cannot represent a progressive wave. Means this equation cannot represent a progressive wave because any of its trigonometric function does not contain the combination omega t plus or minus kx. That is, the displacement of the particles is not changing with time and position simultaneously as found in a progressive wave. It does not contain a combination of omega t plus or minus kx. That is why it cannot be a progressive wave. Okay, now let us come to the next point. Here I will tell you what is the n and these a points written. Okay, so what is a node is these points which on a standing wave does not move at all, or the points on a standing wave which are having zero amplitude. Okay, let me show it. See these points, this n whenever it is written, okay, those points are completely at rest. So those points are known as nodes. Okay, and the points at the a, whatever I have written here, a points, you can look at that points. That points are always coming to the minimum, extremum, and here also they are moving to the maximum. Those points are known as antinodes. Okay, so here I have written that since all the particles have different amplitudes, okay, according to their position, there must be some positions where the amplitude is going to be maximum or minimum. Those points are known as antinodes, and some particles will always have a zero amplitude, and those particles are known as nodes. Is it clear? So if someone is asking you how to define, then I can define nodes are the points in a standing wave which has zero amplitude always, and antinodes are the points in a standing wave which have always the maximum and the minimum amplitude, or I can tell they have always the optimum amplitude. Okay, so this part I have already explained, that since here energy is not propagating along this direction, that cannot propagate also, because through this point, these node points, energy cannot propagate because they are at rest, and energy in a wave only propagates through the vibration of the particles, and since here energy is not propagating, that wave is known as stationary wave or a standing wave. Means the energy is standing. What is standing here? Not the points. Points are not at all standing. You can see points are dancing. Points are moving here and there, they are moving. But the energy is not moving at all. Whatever energy a particle has, it is only changing into potential and kinetic energy continuously. Okay, but this energy is not propagating. That is why it is known as a standing wave. Okay. Now next point. Standing wave can be of two types: transverse standing wave and longitudinal standing wave. Whatever we are looking here, this is a transverse standing wave. Why? Obviously because it created due to superposition of two transverse wave. If the wave standing wave is created due to superposition of longitudinal wave, then it should have called as a longitudinal standing wave, and that is looking completely different. We will discuss that topic in the next video also. Longitudinal standing wave. Okay, we are now only studying this part, transverse standing wave. Now where they are actually found? Transverse standing wave is found in sonometer and strings. Okay, whereas longitudinal standing waves are found in organ pipes and resonance apparatus. Organ pipes, or in any kind of music apparatus. It may be flute, it may be open organ pipe, it may be mouth organ. In all that we can find the longitudinal standing waves. Okay. Now the next point is, let us define a standing wave. Now we have understood, we have seen what is a standing wave is, but in exam point of view it is very important also to define a standing wave. Okay, so how we can define? This is the exact definition as per the word of your book. When two identical waves of same amplitude, frequency and speed, this is very important. What are needed? Same amplitude, frequency and speed, traveling along the same path but in opposite directions. Okay, is it clear about which two waves I am talking? That red color wave that was moving from that direction. Okay, like this wave. These two waves I am talking about, the red one and the blue one. Okay, these two waves are exactly identical wave, the red one and the black one, and the blue one. Okay, let us erase that standing wave for now. The red wave and the blue wave, they have what the property they have? Same amplitude, same frequency and same speed, and they are also traveling along the same path. Okay, along the same axis, but the directions are opposite. The red wave, you can see it is traveling towards the positive x, and the blue wave that is traveling along towards the negative x. Okay, in such cases, or when these two waves superpose, they produce a resultant wave which does not travel in either direction. Okay, so this black wave does not travel in either direction, so that black wave is known as stationary wave. So this is the definition. When two identical waves of same amplitude, same frequency and same speed, traveling along the same path but in opposite directions, superpose with each other, the resultant wave does not travel in either direction and is called stationary wave or standing wave. Okay, these conditions are very important to write. Remember, same amplitude, same frequency, same speed. Okay, now same amplitude means and same frequencies, these 3 points if you combine these three, amplitude, frequency and speed, these three are same. Okay, now if frequency or nu is same, then obviously the time period and angular velocity, angular frequency will be same, because we know time period is nothing but 1 by frequency and angular frequency omega is nothing but 2 pi by frequency. So if nu is constant, then obviously time period and angular frequency are also going to be constant or same. Now speed is given already constant. Now if speed is constant and frequency is constant, obviously the wavelength is going to be a constant. It is going to be same, because we know wavelength lambda will be equal to v by nu. Okay, so v is same, nu is same, or they are constant, then obviously this wavelength is going to be constant. Now propagation constant or k, that is defined as 2 pi by lambda. So if k is 2 pi by lambda and lambda is constant, wavelength is constant, then obviously k is also a constant. That is why they are actually known as identical wave. They have all these terms that you know about a wave: amplitude, frequency, time period, angular frequency, velocity, wavelength and propagation constant. All these terms have exact same value. Only change is their direction and phase. These two things are only going to change. Okay. Now a very important point: is it practically possible to produce two identical waves which have all these values same? Is it possible practically to produce? If you hold one rope from one side, okay, and another person is holding that rope from other side, and both are continuously moving that, you are producing two waves. But is it possible that all these values will be same? You have to exactly move with same speed, same amplitude, same frequency and all that. So in practical, it is written that point, it is practically very difficult to produce such two independent waves having all these values same. Hence, in actual practice, a stationary wave is produced when a progressive wave and its reflective waves are superposed, like here. Here we have seen, here we have not produced two waves. Okay, here what we are producing, and wave is going from here, the red wave, and a boundary is here. From the boundary, the blue color wave is produced, which is nothing but the reflected wave of the incident wave or the red color wave. So here actually we are not superposing two different identical wave, but two independent identical wave. Here we are superposing two waves which are means two dependent wave, or one is incident and another one is just its reflected wave. That is written here. In actual practice, a stationary wave is produced when a progressive wave and its reflective waves are superposed. It is clear why it is very difficult, because we are trying to create two waves with all these values constants, which is actually very difficult to create in practical case. So this line or this condition I can also tell as condition for formation of a standing wave. These terms will be equal, and this line whatever I am written here, both are, I can tell in combine that they are the conditions of formation of a standing wave. Okay. Now another important part for exam point of view: find the position of the nodes and antinodes. Okay, here we can see the position of nodes and antinodes, and if I will close this incident and reflected wave, then this will be more clear. And you can see very clearly here that these node, antinode, node, antinode, node, antinode, like that they are forming consecutively. Okay, means alternatively, node, antinode, and also you can see the distance between them. It is very clear that they are going to be equidistant. Two node distance here is this much, here is this much, here is this much. You can see no distance between two consecutive nodes, or distance between two consecutive antinodes, or distance between a node and an antinode, they are constant here. Okay, but it is from a diagram. How we will prove it mathematically? Okay, let us check how we can prove that mathematically. This is how we can prove that mathematically. Positions of nodes and antinodes. What we got in the first equation? In the first equation we got that this is the amplitude, because what is the equation we got? Y equal to minus 2a sin kx into cos omega t, and there I have mentioned that this minus 2a sin kx is the amplitude part. And the nodes we have defined. How we have defined nodes? Nodes are the, how we have defined nodes? Nodes are the, here in the previous slides we have defined. Nodes are the points which have having zero amplitude. Yes or no? Here we have defined. Nodes are the points which are having zero amplitude. Okay. And the equation that I was telling about is this. Okay. Here you can see this minus 2a sin kx is the amplitude. Okay. So minus 2a sin kx is amplitude, and nodes are the points where the amplitude is 0, antinodes are the points where the amplitude is maximum. Now we will use these two to find the position of the nodes and the antinodes. Okay. So for nodes we have already know that amplitude will be 0, so minus 2a sin kx will be 0. Minus 2a cannot be 0, so sin kx is 0. Now sin kx equal to sin n pi, because sin n pi is 0. Now these terms sometimes students are going to mug up. No need to mug up. Let us understand it. From where I got this point that 0 equal to sin n pi. Let us understand that. This is a sine graph. Okay. And you can see here that where you are getting the 0 values, I think you know how to draw a sine graph. Okay. So where you are getting the 0 values, you see at 0 you are getting, at pi you are getting, at 2 pi you are getting, at 3 pi, at 4 pi. In all these values you are getting 0. And if I will combine and form a general formula, where I am getting 0, 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, like that, means I am actually getting sin n pi equal to 0. Where n, what is n? N is 0, 1, 2, 3, like that, because you put 0 here, you will get sin 0. You will get 1 here, sin pi. You will get 2 here, sin 2 pi, and you can see all these values are going to be 0. Is it clear? So remember this line, sin n pi is always 0. Okay. Now let us, these values I will explain later. Okay. Now let us come to our previous slide. See here, that is why I have written 0 as sin n pi, because I know sin n pi is 0 where n is this much. From here I can tell kx equal to n pi, but k is nothing but propagation constant, that is 2 pi by lambda, as all we know. So by putting that value I can find x equal to n into lambda by 2. Just to compare it with the positions of antinodes, I have just multiplied a 2 and divided a 2. So I can write it here as 2n into lambda by 4. Okay, where n is this. What do you mean by that? 2n into lambda by 4. At these positions of x, you will get nodes. At what positions? Put n equal to 0. What you will get? X is 0. So at 0 you will get a node. Put in this equation n equal to 1. You will get 2 lambda by 4. Again similarly put 2. You will get 4 lambda by 4. Like this you will get. So you can see here, these are the position of the nodes where 0, 2 lambda by 4, 4 lambda by 4, 6 lambda by 4, means I can tell that at all the even positions of lambda by 4, I am getting the node points. Okay, like you can check it here also. This is the 0 point. This is, see, this from here to here, this is a complete wave. As we know, from here to here, this is a complete wave. Okay, so if this is the wavelength lambda. So if this is lambda, this is going to be lambda by 2. From here to here it is lambda by 2. Is it clear? So where I am getting, you can see, and here to here it is lambda by 4. Okay, so this is lambda by 4, 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 like that. So I can see at 0 I am getting, at lambda by 2 I am getting, lambda by 2 means the same thing, 2 into lambda by 4. Then again at this point I am getting, which is nothing but lambda or 4 lambda by 4. Again at this point you can compare. Okay, you can compare the result you got here and the positions in this diagram, and you will find they are absolutely same. Whatever you got here, the same thing is happening here. The nodes are formed at the even multiples of lambda by 4. Okay. Similarly, let us find the positions of antinodes. What is going to change here? Here we found node, so the amplitude is to be 0. But in antinodes, what is happening? The amplitudes are going to be maximum or minimum. So that I have written. Minus 2a sin kx is to be maximum or minimum. Now, if this is maximum or minimum, then obviously when this is going to be maximum or minimum, because minus 2a is a constant. So when it will be maximum, when sin kx will be 1, when it will be minimum, when sin kx will be minus 1. So sin kx equal to plus or minus 1. Now again, when sin kx is plus or minus 1, or what is the value of sine when it became plus or minus 1? Again, now let us come to that previous diagram of sine curve. Here you can see where you are getting plus 1, pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 9 pi by 2, and all that points you are getting plus 1. Similarly, here you are getting minus 1, 3 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, like that. Okay, so here I have written the plus 1 equation and minus 1 equation. You can construct it by yourself. It is not required here. I need a equation for both, plus or minus, a combined equation. So where I am getting plus or minus, see, pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, all these points. I am getting, say, here plus 1, here minus 1, here plus 1, here minus 1. Where? Pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2 means at every odd multiples of pi by 2. Yes or no? 1, 3, 5, 7 pi by 2. So every odd multiples of pi by 2. Or you can write it like this also, 2n minus 1 or 2n plus 1. Anyway, you can represent a odd number. But if you are writing here 2n plus 1, you have to start from n equal to 0. If you are writing here 2n minus 1, you have to start your n from 1. I think you know this in mathematics. So I got here from the diagram that sine of 2n plus 1, an odd multiple of, this is odd, multiple of pi by 2 is plus or minus 1. Okay, so sine 2n plus 1 pi by 2 is plus or minus 1. So this part I am going to use there. Okay, sine 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Let us go again there. Here, plus or minus 1, what I have written there, sine 2n plus 1 pi by 2, where n starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. In some books they may have given it as 2n minus 1, but in that case they have to start it from 1, okay, not from 0. So here by solving this, okay, you solve these steps, these are very easier steps, you can solve them, again put the value of k as 2 pi by lambda, and you will find x equal to this much, 2n plus 1 into lambda by 4. Now put these values of 0, 1, 2, 3 and you will find these answers. Okay, so you can see where the antinodes are forming, lambda by 4, 3 lambda by 4, 5 lambda by 4, and like that, means the antinodes are forming at odd multiples of lambda by 4. Here you got the nodes at even multiples of lambda by 4, but you are getting the antinodes at odd multiples of lambda by 4, and you can also verify that here at 1 lambda by 4, at 3 lambda by 4, at 5 lambda by 4, at 7 lambda by 4, at 9 lambda by 4, like that you are getting the antinodes. Is it clear? Now there is a very simple question may come from here. What is the distance between two nodes? What is the distance between two antinodes? What is the distance between a node and antinode? And all that you can find from these values. Is it clear? Now let us come to the next part. I have a question now. The equation that we derived in the last slides or last part, the equation of the standing wave, the position of the nodes, the position of the antinodes, are they all a general equation? Means are you are going to get those every time? Means the expression that we have derived till now are the general expressions and valid every time, or is there any other situations possible? Let us check. What is happening? You are getting those equations because you have taken your progressive wave equation as such, as like y1 equal to this and y2 equal to this. But we know that equation of a progressive wave can be in many ways. It depends upon their phase and it depends upon their direction of propagation. If a wave is propagating along this direction, y direction, that will have a different equation. If the initial phase was something else, it is pi by 2 or something else, you will get a cos omega t minus kx, a cos kx minus omega t. Like that you can get many kind of equations. Okay, it all depends on the direction of propagation and the initial phase of the wave. Is it clear? So since the where you got this position of nodes and antinodes, from the equation of the standing wave. From where you got the equation of standing wave? From the equations of reflected wave and incident wave. So if you have different reflected wave and different incident wave, then obviously the equations will change and the positions of nodes and antinodes also will change. Okay, let us verify that. See, let us first verify in the animation. Just look at this diagram one. What you are getting here? N, then A, then N, then A. First was N, then you are getting A. Okay, and in which case it was? When the boundary was a solid one or a rigid boundary. Now let us reflect and let us find what happen if the boundary is a open one. Okay, open boundary. Let us check here. First let us check this, then we will come to the equations. This is a same, exactly same incident wave. Means I am keeping the incident wave constant. Means same as we have taken there. Here also incident wave is y equal to a into sin kx minus omega t. Exactly same. Now it is reflected from a open boundary, from an open boundary. Then what will be the equation? See, these were the equations. Let me just pause it and let me show you. Okay, let that go on. Just 1 second. Let me again reset it. Okay, again start it. See, here this equation is exactly same. In the first case we have taken y1 equal to a sin omega t minus kx. Here also we have taken y1 equal to a sin omega t minus kx. Same. You can see from the diagram also. It is exactly same kind, same phase, everything else. But there it was y2 minus a sin omega t plus kx, because the phase, here the minus was due to phase, here it was plus due to the direction. But let us check what is happening here. Here you can see the blue wave. It has the same phase, only the direction is changing. And when it happens, remember this point. If you have understood the reflection wave, then I think these points will be clear. If you have not understood, then we can discuss that later. But for now you remember, when a wave is reflected from a solid boundary or rigid boundary like here, its direction and its phase both are going to change. But when it reflected from an open boundary, only its direction is going to change, not its phase. So what will, in this case, what are the equations of the red wave? This is the equation of red wave, this is the equation of the blue wave. So only a change of minus. It was minus a sin omega t plus kx, it is a sin omega t plus kx. Now how does this minus and plus symbol will change the positions of nodes and antinodes? Let us check. This was y equal to y1 plus y2, and like that I have just used it here. See what was there? There in the first case what was a minus there. Okay, here it is plus. But according to that, all will change. The steps are exactly same, so I am not going to repeat all that. You can see here a is taken constant, omega t minus kx plus this, but here what I am getting? Sin a minus b plus sin a plus b. There the equation was sin a minus b minus sin a plus b. You can again verify that in the previous slides. But here what we are getting? Sin a minus b plus, this plus is there. There it was minus, and accordingly this equation will change. What you will get here? You will get 2 sin a into cos b. So what will be the next step? This 2 sin omega t into cos kx. So the equation will be like this, and this is the standing wave equation. Now let us remember what we got there. Okay, what we got here? 2a cos kx sin omega t. What we got there? See, minus 2x. This minus is very obvious, but see, this is important part. Here you are getting sin kx cos omega t. Okay, sin kx cos omega t. There what we got? Just give me a minute. There what we got? Cos kx sin omega t. Okay, so there the amplitude was 2a sin kx, and here the amplitude is, there it was minus 2a sin kx, here it is 2a cos kx, and obviously if the amplitude changes, accordingly the position of nodes and antinodes will also change. Okay, so it is written here that the amplitude here is 2a cos kx, upon which the position of nodes and antinodes depends on. Now let us find those values. See, here the amplitude is this 2a cos kx, the derivation method is exactly same, but here it is cos kx equal to 0. If cos kx equal to 0, I have to use the cosine graph now. Previously we have used the sine graph. Now let us see what is happening in cosine graph. This is a cosine graph. Okay, and in cos graph you can see where you are getting 0 at pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, and like that. Means you are getting 0 at every odd multiples of pi by 2. Okay, every odd multiples of pi by 2 you are getting 0. So this value I can use cos 2n plus 1 pi by 2 equal to 0. Okay, let us use it there. Cos 2n plus 1 pi by 2 as a 0. So by solving that you will get this 2n plus 1 lambda by 4, exactly same method, but here you will get the nodes at lambda by 4, 3 lambda by 4, 5 lambda by 4, and like that. Is it clear? You are getting the nodes at odd multiples of lambda by 4. And similarly, if you solve here, again use the cosine graph here. If you are getting plus or minus 1 here, again use the cosine graph, and you can see for if it is plus or minus 1, then where you are getting plus or minus 1, you can see here at 0 you are getting, at pi, at 2 pi, at 3 pi, at 4 pi, like that. Means at every n pi you are getting plus 1 or minus 1. So this value I can use in the to find the position of antinodes, and you can see the antinodes I have used that cos n pi, and I found that the antinodes are forming at even multiples of lambda by 4. Okay, nodes at odd multiple and antinodes at even multiple. Now let us remember what we got there. Exactly opposite. At even multiple you got nodes, and at odd multiples you got antinodes. But here, okay, in this case we got exactly opposite. And here also you can verify that in the diagram. Here you got A. In the previous diagram here you got N. Okay, and then again it is changing. In the previous diagram here you are getting N node. At the boundary here you are getting antinode. This is also a very important point to remember. Before closing, let us see some very important points for exam point of view. What is the first point? The distance between any two successive nodes or antinode is lambda by 2. The distance between a node and its nearby antinode is lambda by 4. Let us verify it here. What is written? Between any two successive node or any two successive antinodes. Let us just erase this incident and reflected wave, and you can see this. See, between two nodes, from here to here, how much distance it is? See, what is a wave? From here to here, you can see it is a crest here, and what is a crest here. So that is in one wavelength. That is the definition of one wavelength. Yes or no? From here to here, crest to crest. Okay. So from here to here, this distance, or you can find it from trough to trough distance. Okay. So you can see from here to here, it is nothing but lambda by 2. Okay. And similarly from antinode to antinode distance is also lambda by 2. Okay. From here to here lambda by 2, here to here lambda by 2. But the distance between any node and antinode, this distance is lambda by 4. Similarly, this distance is lambda by 4. This distance is lambda by 4. So they are equispaced, and the distance between two nodes or two antinodes is lambda by 2, whereas the distance between one node and one antinode is lambda by 4. Okay. The next point is this: amplitude of the particles are different at different points and do not change with time. Remember, you can verify it here also. Amplitudes are different at different points, and that does not change with time. At this point amplitude is maximum, it is going to decrease, 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 and it is becoming 0 here. And if it is 0, it will remain 0 when till the wave exists there. It is not going to change. The amplitude is going to be constant, which is not happening in a progressive wave. In progressive wave, every particle, each and every particle are reaching the same maximum and reaching the same minimum. Maybe at different time, but at least they are going there. But here in standing wave, it is not happening. That is the second point. The next point: in a particular segment. Segment means region between two nodes. Okay, region between two nodes are known as a segment. Okay, so it will be easier if you will understand from that fixed boundary case. See, these results are applicable every time for fixed and also for the for the open boundary. Okay, let me just show you. This was the case for the previous one. Okay, let us make it up to animation mode. If it is in animation mode, see here it will be very clear here to understand. These position between two nodes, okay, those are known as a segment. And if I will pause it somewhere, see in this diagram you can clearly see here between two nodes each and every particles are in the upward direction, means they all has the same phase, that is written here. In a particular segment, region between two successive nodes, all the particles vibrates in the same phase. Here you can compare from this node to this node, each and every particles are vibrating in the upward direction. Similarly, from this node to this node, they are vibrating in the opposite direction. Between two nodes, all the particles exist here, here, like that. All the particles will have the same phase. Here they are in the opposite, means in the upward direction. But the particles in two neighboring segments vibrate in opposite phases. See, this is a segment, one node to another node. This is the neighboring segment, this node to this node. And you can see in this segment all the particles are vibrating in the negative axis. So that is written here. In a particular segment, all particles vibrate in the same phase, but in the particles into neighboring segments vibrate in opposite phases. Next point, formation of a standing wave needs two waves having exactly same values of velocity, time period, angular frequency, propagation constant, wavelength and amplitude. For the formation of a standing wave, you need all these values to be constant: v, t, omega, nu, k, lambda and a. Also I have explained this. And the last point is this: the standing wave has the same wavelength and frequency as that of the two component wave. Let us check whether it is true or not. You can see these two waves. This red one is the incident wave. I am not showing the blue one or the reflected wave here. I am only showing the incident and the standing wave. You can check that not the amplitude, the wavelength and the frequency. Amplitude is obviously changing, okay, but the wavelength and frequency we can also see if I am pausing at some point. Okay, if I will pause somewhere. See, if I am pausing, you can see here what is the wavelength of this standing wave. See, from here to here. Yes or no? This is the complete wavelength. From here to here, this is the wave. But here you can see also for the incident wave, from here to here. Means you can see in this part, it is completely visible that the wavelength of the standing wave and the wavelength of the incident wave are completely same. Also you can verify the same thing by taking the reflected wave. See, the blue one is the reflected wave and black one is the standing wave, and you can verify that their wavelengths are same, okay, and also their frequencies are also same. That is very difficult to actually verify here, but remember their amplitudes are not going to see. Is it clear? So this point is here, the two waves, means the incident and the reflected wave, must have all these quantities same. But if you compare a incident wave with standing wave or a reflected wave with standing wave, we will find that their wavelength and frequency are going to be same. So, these are all the points that we have to discuss. In the next class, we will see how the longitudinal standing wave is formed and how we can explain the sounds in organ pipes or in musical instruments by using the formation of standing waves. Okay. So, thank you for watching. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.